I'd like to call to order the March 2026 meeting of the Knox County Board of Zoning Appeals. Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Curtis Brown, Jonathan Repass,
Present.
Craig Blitz, Ashley Williams,
Present.
Cecil Anderson,
Here.
John Elliott,
Here.
Sherry Garrett,
Present.
Philip Graves,
Present.
Paul Huff.
Present.
Have 9 members present.
If you would, please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members of Bza are volunteers from each commission district who do not receive compensation for their work on the board or training they attend. As a quasi-judicial body, we avoid ex parte communication and conduct our business in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. My name's Paul Huff. I'm the chairman. To my right is Mr. Myers Morton, our law director. Knox County, do you have any people you'd like to introduce? Steve?
Yes, Chairman. I have myself, Steve Elliott, Miranda Ward from my office, and we have Mr. Mike Reynolds from Knox Planning.
Very good, thank you. Our voting procedure requires a simple majority of board members present. Today, there are 8 members present. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? They're approved. Knox County Board of Zoning Appeals is authorized to grant variances and hear other matters by the Tennessee Code and the Knox County Zoning Ordinance, specifically 6.60 Board of Zoning Appeals. These laws prescribe strict parameters, the meeting of which is required to grant a variance. The burden of proof that an application meets these parameters rests on the applicant. Quoting from Knox County Code of Ordinance 6.60 variance, the purpose of the variance is to modify the strict application of the specific requirements of this ordinance in the case of exceptionally irregular, narrow, shallow, or steep lots or other exceptional physical conditions whereby such strict application would result in practical difficulty or unnecessary hardship which would deprive an owner of the reasonable use of their land. The variance shall be used only where necessary to overcome some obstacle which is preventing an owner from using their property as the zoning ordinance intended. For each matter, the clerk will read the request into the record. The chair will then ask if the applicant is present. The chair will then ask if there are opposition or others who wish to speak. You do not have to come forward at this time. At this time, you will also have an opportunity for the public to make statements about anything on the agenda as it is presented. Once we determine the speakers for an item, we will call on governmental agencies such as Knox County Codes, Planning, or Engineering to make statements regarding the facts pertinent to the property and background of the request. Board members may ask questions of the governmental agencies once they have made their statements. The chair will then call on the applicant to come forward, state their name and address for the record, and present their evidence and reasoning supporting the granting of a variance. If there is no opposition, the applicant has 10 minutes to present their case. If there is opposition, the applicant and opposition have up to 15 minutes. After the applicant's presentation, the board members may ask questions of the applicant. At this time, we will also entertain comments from the public. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak on an item. The chair will then call for opposition or other parties who have up to 15 minutes. This 15 minutes applies to all parties, so if there are multiple parties who wish to speak, please determine how you're going to divide your time beforehand. After the opponents present their opposition, the board members may ask questions of the opponents. Finally, there will be a discussion of the case by the board, during which time the board members may ask further questions of the parties that have already testified. The board will then make any determination it deems necessary. Our bylaws allow an applicant at the initial hearing on the matter to request a deferral of 30 or 60 days without prejudice. In the event of a deferral of an application or failure to appear, any opponents may be heard on the record at a meeting where the application they oppose appears on the agenda. Mr. Law Director, if you would please swear in any opponents or any speakers who would like to speak either for or in opposition or as public members at this time.
If you're going to be testifying before this board and presenting any evidence, please stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you, each of you, swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give to this board is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Are there any agenda changes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For item 4A, the property located at 4540 Allen Springs Lane, their request needs to be 20 to 13 feet. The part of the porch that encroaches the setback doesn't need a variance. And then for item 4F, 3236 George Light Road, is there someone here for that case? That case does not need a variance. We discovered there was one that had been issued several years ago. So my office would ask that we withdraw that request and refund the applicant's money.
Okay, we'll take that up when we get to it, but yes, thank you. Unless if the board would like to go ahead and hear that now, we'll just, so the gentleman can leave if he wants to. Make a motion, Mr. Elliott?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we withdraw 4F and refund the money, please.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I have one other agenda item that we need to discuss.
He's good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman that we withdrew has a question.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, name and address, please.
My address is 1004 Wynwood Street, Kingston, Tennessee. I moved down there years ago because I went to work for TVA and I was building nuclear power plants. Moved back up here and worked for Dow Chemical Company for 23 and a half years. I lived on Georgia Light Road. I've been associated with Georgia Light Road for over 68 years. That's how old I am. So I know all the residents that still remain on Georgia Light Road. So today, this is not concerning the case that I came here with, but as a zoning planning commission, I think y'all need to know something, because a friend of mine who lives up the street, his name happens to be, I'm stumbling here, Greg Norman, but there needs to be a look at the road entrances and exits. Cutting one side off does not cure the problem. That road is now being packed with people. We're putting more and more stuff there. So we've got to figure out a way to present a break so people can come in and off this road, you know? And I stay there majority of the year because my mom has Alzheimer's and dementia. I don't wish that on anybody. But when you're there coming in and going out, and especially around 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, the traffic is so hectic that you can't get across to go back to Knox or to go to Kingston or to Oak Ridge. So that's all I got to say. I appreciate what y'all have done for me. Thank you. But when you get to thinking about this, especially I know it was in the mix because Greg come to see me about what we're going to do with this road for us closing things. Just something for thought in the future, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Steve
You're
didn't say anything about, are you all gonna do that or you didn't address that one? Steve didn't address it.
4G.
He only addressed that. But since that's on there, I just didn't know.
Steve, you still want to defer 4G to the April meeting, correct?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I missed that one. 4G will be deferred to the April meeting.
Okay. Before we get to 4A, we need to make we need to do a little housekeeping here amongst the board regarding notice to public commenters having an opportunity to speak at the forum. I will read this just because everyone in the audience probably doesn't have a copy of it. A governing body shall, for each public meeting, reserve a period for public comment to provide the public with the opportunity to comment on matters that are germane to the items on the agenda for the meeting. The governing body may put reasonable restrictions on the period for public comments, such as the length of the period, the number of speakers, and the length of time that each speaker will be allowed to provide comment. The governing body may require a person to give notice in advance of the desire to offer comments at a meeting. The governing body shall take all practicable steps to ensure that opposing viewpoints are represented fairly, if any. A notice for a public meeting shall indicate the manner in which a person may indicate the person's desire to provide public comment at the meeting. This section does not apply to meetings of the governing body or a portion thereof where the governing body is conducting a disciplinary hearing for a member of the governing body or a person whose profession or activities fall within the jurisdiction of the governing body, or a meeting for which there are no actionable items on the agenda. It has been proposed, the chair has proposed that to satisfy this, for each item, we will offer a time for the public to speak on the item in addition to parties for or against an item, just so that everyone has a chance to be heard. So if that is satisfactory to the board, I would also recommend that we limit each speaker from the public to 3 minutes. I will entertain a motion to make that part of our procedure. I'll make that motion that we.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion?
I do have one thing. I would suggest that we have a period at the end of the meeting for those who are speaking, who wish to speak on items that are germane to our board, that are not on the agenda. With the same parameters, 3 minutes, and signing up before.
We can do that,
Meeting.
but it would fall outside the requirements of the
Would it?
law.
Okay, then I'll withdraw that.
Sorry. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to item A.
Item A is a request of Peter Fessuk for waiver of front yard setback from 20 feet to 13 feet as amended. The property is located at 4540 Allen Springs Lane, parcel ID 028EM033, properties on PR in the 7th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition? Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on this? Any statements from codes?
We have none at this time. Well, maybe I should clarify why we moved that setback requirement. As you can see on the board up here, the applicant had requested the 7 feet from the porch to the property line, but actually the porch does not need a variance, only the structure. So he only needs a variance for the structure. So that's the reason we amended the request from 7 to 13 feet.
Very good, thank you. If the applicant would please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Peter Feziuk, and which address should I state?
Your residence.
Residence, 7404 Willow Fork Lane. That's my current residence.
And pursuant to zoning codes, what evidence do you have to support your application for a variance?
I'm sorry?
What evidence do you have to support your application for a variance? Why do you need a variance?
Because there was a cul-de-sac, I think of phase one in the subdivision. And as you can see on the map here, sir, and that would push the house back, and it would be not in line with all the other houses in the subdivision, and the curb appeal would definitely not be attractive. And it just makes logical sense for the house to be in line with all of the other houses in the subdivision because of the partial cul-de-sac that was created years ago.
I appreciate that. However, none of that are reasons in the code in the code for granting a variance. I'll refresh your memory. A variance is justified if the lot is irregular, shallow, steep, or have other exceptional physical conditions. Being on a cul-de-sac is not an exceptional physical condition. It happens all over Knox County.
Yeah.
So is it an irregular lot?
It
Or a
is.
steep lot, or?
It's a very steep lot, yes, sir.
Thank you. Whose is this? Ms. Garrett.
So I've driven by and looked at this, and I know that there is a drop-off from the road, but the rear of the lot, a good portion of the lot appears to be flat. Is there a reasoning other than aesthetics as to why it couldn't be pushed back further?
The house
Yes.
pushed back further, yes. When there's heavier rains, the back would be more wetter and damp, and putting a house in the back would create other issues. As you can see that, everything is sloped, and then there's that little hump in the back on the map, and it was created there for water to run down over there, and also to avoid water from running into the backyard of these other residents. So it would not be the best idea to put a house further back in this lot.
Does anybody else have a question?
Does codes have anything on this?
We don't have any input. I'm trying to find the design plan to see if that is a design swell behind it, but I'll let you know in just a second.
Thank you.
So what happened, if I may speak, the developer that developed Bethany Springs, years ago, they took out a lot of dirt from these 3 lots that created a significant slope and a lot of other, and that made the lot very unattractive. And I talked with the community and all the people there and their committee and everything, and they really loved that idea. They approved that idea. And so my next logical step was to present this idea to you guys here at the board to see if that's something that could be done. And going back to Bethany Springs, they all love that idea, and everything was approved in the local community there, and yeah.
So Ms. Garrett, is there, whether there's a drainage swell or
That's true.
or a design feature back in the back of the lot, I'm not sure. It really not
Matters. Yeah.
It's not a factor for our decision, I don't think.
Okay.
It is a steep lot. I mean, that's quite obvious. At
All right.
least up close to the road it is.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to approve the waiver of the front yard setback from 20 feet to 13 feet due to the irregular and steepness of the lot.
With that, would that, because of the closeness to it, that front porch could not be closed in the future, is that correct?
Correct. It just has to remain permanently unenclosed.
Did you understand what they mean by that?
Yeah, so the porch will be open.
Right.
And there's no plans or anything to close off the porch. Yeah, it's a very nice neighborhood, so I don't think that would be attractive. And they're all big about, every house that goes in there to raise the value of all the other houses. So they're very careful in watching what is getting built there.
Miranda, help me. If it was screened, does that mean it's enclosed, or does it have to be a conditioned space?
It would have to be physically closed on at least two sides, so screened would be okay, but they couldn't turn it into a sunroom.
Okay. All right. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further conversation? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Item 4B is a request of Blake McDavid for waiver of side setback periphery boundary from 50 feet to 40 feet, located at 330 North Cedar Bluff Road, parcel ID 119-02101, property zone PC CH2 in the 3rd Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this? Is there any member of the public that would like to speak on this item? Anything from codes?
We don't have anything at this time.
Okay. If the applicant would come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. My name is Ben Jenkins on behalf of Blake McDavid. My address is 130 Regional Park Drive, Kingsport, Tennessee. The reasoning for the variance is, as you can see, kind of right between the label proposed building, there's a dashed line. That is the 50-foot setback. Due to the narrowness of the lot, it's not feasible to build this project or probably any other project due to that setback pushing the proposed structure all the way to the opposite side of the lot. So we request a 40-foot, a reduction to 40 feet, which will allow this, keep the building within the setback.
What is the adjacent 2102? What is that? Is that a business or a residence, or what is that?
Twaggles.
Yeah.
Weigels. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is all due to the peripheral requirements of the
It's
subdivision, right?
It's correct, Mr. Chairman. The periphery follows the boundary of the PC zone. What I suspect happened years ago was this was probably all at some point zone PC. The city annexed and the adjoining parcels became a city zone, therefore moving that 50-foot periphery to this lot, or potentially the other lots rezoned. It's hard to say what happened, but I'm assuming they were all PC at one time. It was. Yes, Mr. Reynolds is saying they were all PC at one time, and then when the city annexed, they became a city zone. So that's what created the hardship here.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Blitz, if you care to make a motion or have additional comments?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Item 4D is a request of Matthew Brooks. I'm sorry, I'm on 4C. Got ahead of myself. Item 4C is a request of Zane Fair for waiver to extend the RB zoning boundary to rear property line. The property is located at 7307 Old Clinton Pike, parcel ID 067-14901, property zone RB and Ag in the 6th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak about this? Any comments from the government, from you guys, Steve?
We have none at this time.
If you could, if the applicant would come forward, please, and state your name and address for the record.
Zane Fair, 9323 Andersonville Pike, Powell, Tennessee.
And what's your reason for wanting to extend this boundary? I think I know, but go ahead.
We want to add another structure to the rear. I went to apply to, they told me to rezone the entire lot, and the zoning department told me to apply for this because the agricultural portion doesn't meet the sector plan anyways.
Can you give us some idea, just for the record, what you plan to build?
Probably something very similar to what they just built, like a 3-unit townhome. If you can see where it's just been subdivided to the side there, it's new townhomes.
It will be residential.
It will be residential.
Well, other than the fact that I despise the RB zoning and would do anything to avoid more RB zoning, this does make sense to me because this is just one little piece of agricultural zoning in the midst of everything else, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Elliott, this was yours.
Well, thanks, and I feel the same, but, so it's gonna tie into the development next door. It's not gonna be behind 7307?
It will be behind 7307. The structure, the image you have represents a long carport, so we'll enter along that existing road beside the home.
Pebble Brook Road or Pebble Brook Way, is that
So
correct?
the carport's gone from the house, and we'll build a good access in right along the side of the house.
Well, okay. I guess it's not exactly what we're addressing, but thank you for the detail. I would like to make a proposal that we approve the waiver I'd like to make a motion that we approve the waiver to extend the RB zoning boundary to the rear property line.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Okay, now we're ready for item 4D, request of Matthew Brooks. It's to appeal issuance of building permit. The property is located at 1801 Wayland Road, parcel ID 084182, property zone PR in the 8th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on this? Since our procedures say that if you are here in opposition of an item, even if the applicant is not present, you are welcome to speak on the item now, or you can wait. Well, we haven't been asked to defer it. Do we have any idea why the applicant's not here?
Mr. Chairman, we do not. And this appeal is of the fact that we issued a permit for a manufactured home on a lot. It is delaying the permittee's process and putting their home in. So my request would be if the applicant didn't show up today, that we just take it off the agenda and allow the permittee to continue with his home. I mean, it's further delaying the process of getting his home put on the lot. So if we defer it 30 days.
I would agree with that. Mr. Graves, would you like to make such a motion?
I'll make a motion that we defer this item 30 days. Is that what we're looking for on that one?
No, I think what we're asking to do is to remove it from the
Remove it,
agenda
okay.
because the applicant did not appear.
Okay. I will therefore make a motion that we remove it from our agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any opposition to that? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. No longer on the agenda. It's
Mr. Chairman, the person who's wanting to put the mobile home on there could go ahead and do that.
as far as I'm concerned, the permit was issued. You're welcome to proceed under the terms of the permit.
That's my interpretation. This is the permittee, so he was asking to say a word.
Be my guest.
Is that okay?
Certainly.
I just had a question. Thank you guys for considering that. But I'm questioning the
we need your name and address.
My name is
please.
Blake Burley at 229 East Copeland Road, Powell, Tennessee. I just wanted to question the process in this situation to see moving forward how Knox County looks at these instances where we go through the proper chains of command with the process, working with the codes department, the planning department. We get issued a building permit, and then anybody can just come forward after the fact that we have been following the rules and doing things like we've been asked to do, and then challenge those things. I mean, what if I would have already had that home sitting there, right? We went through the proper processes. We used our surveyors alongside of your all's appointees. I'm just curious how that process works and why it is that way.
You did everything you were supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
You got your permit. I'm assuming you're building according to the permit.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, fortunately, in the I guess in the sense of fairness, anyone can challenge the decision made by any administrative personnel in the county. In other words, if I thought Steve's engineering group had made a mistake in their ruling on a permit, I can challenge that. I can say, you guys messed up, you made a mistake. And when that happens, it has to come before us to determine whether there was an administrative error made in a decision.
Okay, so this was a challenge
This
for
was
administrative
a
error.
challenge
Okay,
to their decision, not to anything you've done.
so
but
my
to their
question is,
decision.
what if I would have built a house? What if we would have already dug footers? We'd have already got everything taken care of. We spent a bunch of money to bring things over there, and we get challenged because somebody drives by and they don't like what we're doing, even though we went through the proper chains of command. I'm just curious, so I know moving forward how that process works.
I don't think they can drive by.
There is a short deadline to appeal. In other words, once a
Okay.
building permit's been issued,
There's a
I don't know what
timeline?
there is a time limit. I don't know if it's 2
Okay.
weeks or a month or what.
Okay.
But if a long period of time goes by, I mean, the time it takes to build a house or put a house on the property, it's probably going to be outside that window.
Yes, sir.
The opportunity to appeal does not go on forever. Okay?
Understood. Okay. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Miranda.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Counselor. Made me look like I knew what I was doing. Let's see. There we go. This was one 4E.
4E is a request of John Tucker for waiver of lot intensity from 2 dwellings per acres to 2 dwellings per .78 acre, located at 1208 Andes Road, parcel ID 105JA002, property zone Ag in the 6th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak about this? Anything from codes? I think I know.
Yes, I do have something, but let's let the applicant go, then I'll tell you what I have for it.
Very good. If you could come, please, and state your name and address for the record.
John Tucker, 1208 Andes Road,
Knoxville, Tennessee, 37931.
Okay, if you could give us your, the evidence you have for wanting to, for needing this variance.
When we moved to 1208 Andes, it was definitely in the country. Since then, we were they built a huge bank, which now is Carson Newman College, as well as a eye doctor place. It's a 2-story. We no longer really are living in the country with that next to us. Since then, our daughter has had brain surgery and has a very severe illness. She's on total disability. We would like to have her on our property, but also at the same time, not in our house, for boundaries as well as sanity. She also has a severe mood disorder. She is independent. She does drive. We're looking to put in a garage apartment. The slope of, we have 2 driveways, as you can see. The first driveway goes down. That's where we would actually, we would put the garage apartment right there. And thus she is close by, but at the same time has an independent ability to live. This is still zoned, I think, AG. There has been a huge development to the north of us with 100+ homes that are a lot closer than what we have here. And so what I'm requesting is the ability to build a garage apartment for this situation.
Before I turn this over to Mr. Elliott, have you exhausted all opportunities to have this property rezoned so that it can accommodate two structures on 0.78 acres?
When I talked to Miranda, I think, we were discussing the aspect of changing it to RA.
Have you made an application to the County Planning Commission to get it rezoned?
I thought that's what I had done, but I guess it came in as a variance.
No, to get it rezoned, you would have to go through Knox Planning. This is just to get a variance. It's just, the agenda's a little bit quicker to get on than planning. Was our only discussion, I think.
Please understand that this body is kind of like the opportunity of last resort. After you've exhausted all other opportunities to get what you want, this is where you end up, not where you start.
Okay.
Okay. But I think, based on what I know about rezoning, you have a good case to get this property rezoned RA. But in the event that Planning Commission doesn't see that and you don't get it rezoned, then you're welcome to come back here and plead your case after if they turn you down.
Should I request a deferment based on that?
He's asking, should he request to defer? I don't know. I don't want to give you advice. I mean, I think
Well, I think, again, based on my understanding, it'll go before Planning Commission. If they rule yes, then it has to go before County Commission, and they have to vote on it too, right? So that's, I think, 2 months at least, 60 days, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be closer to 3 months in the end.
3 months.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is that we remove it from the agenda, go through the planning process, we'll refund your money, and you can come back if planning says no.
Okay.
How's that for an answer?
Thank you.
Who's this? It's Mr. Elliott, since I've already said everything, I think. Would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, ditto. No, but that's very well handled. Thank you. Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we remove this for now and we go through zoning. What? And refund the money. Thank you very much.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? We will remove it from the agenda, refund your money, and if you have to come back, please do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
4F.
We're down to 4H.
Oh,
4F has been
you're
withdrawn.
right.
and
4G and
4G is
4H.
deferred. So 4H is a request of Brian Stevens for waiver of front yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet at 1553 Hickory Meadows Drive, parcel ID 129JA014, property zone PR in the 6th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Hello, Mr. Mullins.
Mr. Huff?
Is there any
Chairman?
opposition? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak to this? Anything from codes?
Yes, I think we should combine these two items up. There was two side by side.
4H and 4I? Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
And it's very seldom that we do this, but EPW is going to make a statement that we are in support of these variance requests. We asked for this connection. These were two independent subdivisions. We worked with the developer, Ball Homes, to get this connection. It was important for us from a life safety perspective that this connection was made. So as part of that, we told them we would support these variances. So today, EPW is in support of this reduction.
Just for formality, we'll read 4I.
So 4I is also a request of Brian Stevens. It's for a waiver of front yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet at 1607 Hickory Meadows Drive. The parcel ID for it is 1269JA016, and it's also zone PR in the 6th Commission District.
If you would, please give your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street, here for the applicant, Ball Homes.
I'd like to save a little time just by saying that,
Please.
based on what we see here, this is something that was caused not by the applicant, and it's only because you now have two front yards, because it's now, they're two corner lots now.
Yeah, it's corner.
Not by your making, but because of an accommodation of the engineering department. So I would like to make, Mr. Elliott, I'd like to, if I might, I'd like to make a motion to approve this, both for 4H and 4I. Not that I don't want you to earn your money today.
I am fine, not saying a word. The less I say, the better sometimes.
Anyone care to second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none.
Thank you very
You're
much.
approved.
Yeah.
Item 4J, Mr. Gray.
4J is a request of Stephen Ward for waiver of lot intensity from 1 acre per dwelling to .411 per acre, located at 128 Barnes Lane, parcel ID 063229, Zone Ag in the 8th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak to this? Very good. I did see that. Is there any statement from Knox County?
We don't have anything.
If the applicant could come forward, please, and state your name and address for the record. Ouch.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Ward. Address is 6667 Maynardville Pike, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37918.
And could you give us the reason why you want to, why you need to make this request?
This is an irregular piece of property there on the east side of Barnes Lane. It's already below the 1 acre minimum required for ag zoning. And unfortunately, normally I would go for rezoning on this. I'm the surveyor. But we are outside the growth policy area, which prevents us from going for any meaningful, I believe my understanding is PR is the only thing that's available outside there, and which obviously would not help us in this case. But they're wanting to break off that house on the southerly end of the property, which has been a rental property. They'd like to break it off and dispose of it. And the garage that's up there, basically the two pieces, the existing house shown on the west or left side would be combined with the existing garage on the other side as shown on the map. And that's how the property's been used. They're just trying to clean up the actual lot lines with how the property's been used over time. And I have the owner and her son in the audience if y'all have any specific questions for them related to it.
So you plan to land hook across the road?
Yes, and we've cleared that with the planning commission. They say that is acceptable.
How is the existing house served for sanitary sewers? Is it a septic tank or is it sewage?
It is on septic, yes.
Septic, okay.
And we've had discussions with the health department that we'll have to meet. You all are step one. If you all approve this, then the health department will have to meet their requirements for reserve area and that kind of thing on that track that we're creating. The garage up there has no septic. It has no need of septic. Only the house on the southern end would be involved with septic.
But it's already served on septic?
It's already served, yes.
Okay. Whose is this? Mr. Graves.
Just have one question. I was reading through the reasoning here, and so they'd like to retain the garage and sell the home place.
Yeah.
When I went up there to look at it, it appears there's for sale signs in both yards. So is the whole thing getting sold? Because I don't know why they would retain something that they're not, that they're selling.
I'm the surveyor. I would have to let them speak to that. I was unaware of that.
Randall Hickman, 4545 French Road, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37920.
Have you been sworn in? Did you do those?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unfortunately, the way that it was mapped out, as he was mentioned earlier, the only way to sell the property is all of it. And so my mom, who's a widow, my father passed away. That was our rental house. And so the goal was, as you could see, the garage already really belongs with the house across the street. So by doing this, it allows her to only sell the rental house and have future plans if she wants to sell the other house. This allows her to do that house immediately.
All right. Thank you.
Does that answer you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to add? No?
No, sir.
I saw a hand come up for public comment. If you could give your name and address, please, for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is James Holly. Address is 134 Barnes Lane, Strawberry Plains, Tennessee, 37871. So we are, Philip, if you saw the place, if you saw the gravel road that went up the hill, we're that house. And I agree with
Just past the garage?
Just past, behind the garage, yeah, back up the hill. It used to be Randall's house. We've known the Hickmans for many years, loved them dearly. And it absolutely makes sense for them to separate those two. I don't know if that helps, but I did have a question for you all. Just like the gentleman that came up earlier, I think it was 4E, said he used to be in the country. You know, we are in the country. And I'm assuming that these 1 acre lot sizes were to kind of put in place to sort of keep it bigger and not get so compressed together. Our biggest fear is not for the Hickmans and who they're gonna, I'm just worried about if they sell it. You know, could a developer come in there and, you know, ask for the same thing for the rest of the acreage because there's a bigger, like 30-something acres that they own that's going with the other property. And again, they have the right to sell their property to whoever they want, but would they have to come in here and ask for that variance again? Or does this set a precedent for just doing it automatically?
No.
It does not set a precedence. Rezoning or subdivision requests go through planning.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Any subdivision requests go through planning. This is a kind of a special one-off case. I don't know how big these other parcels are, but they appear to be multiple acres. Randy, can you?
Yeah, it's pretty big. I agree with that.
I think his concern is subdividing the larger parcels.
I just want to know if I'll have a chance to speak.
Yes, you would.
Again, if they do, not to do with the Hickmans, I agree with what they're trying to do, but we have a chance to come in and oppose that.
You
Yes.
absolutely will. None of this happens in anything private. There will be meetings through Knox Planning and eventually through Knox County Commission for any rezoning and subdivision and
So
development
a
plans.
sign would go up, we'd be notified publicly, we'd be able to.
There is one scenario where that would have happened.
Yeah, so an application for subdivision, that would be a public notice, that would actually go to the planning commission meeting. It would be two different triggers, one being a new public road or an extension of an existing public road, and the other being 6 lots being created, particularly if those lots are less than 5 acres each. An exempt plat could be recorded if all the lots are 5 acres or more. That does not go to a public meeting. It goes directly to the Register of Deeds office, so there would not be any public notice or anything. If say 5 new lots of 1 acre or less, or 1 acre or more, between 1 and 5 acres is created, that would be an administrative plat review through our office. Again, it would not require public review or have a public meeting, but that would be limited to 5 lots. Anything more than 5 lots would have to come to the planning commission for approval.
So it would follow the current guidelines. If they stay within those current guidelines, then there's no notification. The only thing we'd be notified of is if the road that goes to it has to be widened or something, then we'd be notified, because it would definitely have to be widened. We'd be notified of that. Okay, that's fair.
EPW wouldn't be inclined to improve much further subdivision without road improvements back there. So.
Gotcha, I understand.
Unless they do an exempt plat, which 5 acre tracts, I don't know how much is back there, but it would be very large lots. So.
Very good. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Very good. I forgot where we are. Has there been a motion made? No motion yet. Mr. Graves?
Being in the 8th District, I've seen a lot of farms turning into subdivisions, so I certainly commiserate with his concern. But that's neither here nor there for this. So for this motion, I would like to make a motion, that we approve the waiver of lot intensity from 1 acre per dwelling to 0.411 per acre.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, you have your variance.
Thank you all.
Now on to 5A.
5A is a deferred request of Eduardo Adam for waiver of front yard setback from 35 feet to 10 feet at 11452 Couch Mill Road, parcel ID 102LA018, zoned RA and F in the 6th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? There you are.
Yes, Eduardo Adame, 127 Finley Drive, Lenore City, Tennessee, 37771.
Is there any opposition to this? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak to this? Any statement from codes?
We don't have any at this time.
There is one change that was made, this is 35 feet to 12 feet, I believe, based on the current site plan.
That's correct.
Let's see, you've already stated your name. Can you tell us, give us your reasoning for requesting this setback?
Yes, sir. Since last time we met, I went home and I did a little bit more homework. As y'all can see a little bit more detail on the proposed site plan. So, yeah, like you said, I did make a phone call. I wasn't aware that I needed to state that I was going to change from 10 to 12. So thank you for mentioning that. So looking at the proposed site plan, I've added some proposed things. So I'll just start out with just the electrical. You can see on the red line shows the proposed electrical route, which would be coming off of an existing overhead power line to one of those private poles, electrical poles, then going to a meter base underground, hitting the house. Pretty straightforward. The water meter, you can see existing water meter that is currently there. It was installed by West Knox Utility District. I just have to pay the tap fee, and I would get water on that piece of property, and it just kind of shows the water line going to the house with a possible yard hydrant on the backyard. So a fun one is the septic system. So again, part of the documents that I submitted included a soil test performed on that piece of property. And that's the survey. Yes. So obviously looking at that, somebody performed a soil test and it outlines the suitable soils for the installation of a septic tank. One of the main reasons why that led us to kind of have to build a house where we proposed it is to not disturb the soil, because you don't want to disturb it because then you won't pass your perk test. So that's why the house is kind of sitting where we're proposing. So if we go back to the previous site layout, and if we zoom out, there you go. That nice bright green shows the proposed septic system design. So obviously, I would go on the rear. If you're looking at the house from the front, it would be the rear left back corner, where sewer would have the proper fall and have to cross the storm ditch and hit the septic tank. Then after the septic tank, we would have a distribution box. And if you go to the land, a long time ago, they did like these little stair step kind of grading setup. So the intent would be to follow those steps where the suitable soil is located to do that step system on each step of land, if you will. So that's the proposed septic system, and that's kind of where it has to go there. Let's see. So kind of getting into the house layout, it's showing 48 feet by 45 feet, 48 feet wide by 45 feet deep foundation layout. And then it's showing 48 by 8 feet back deck. So just looking at this, let's see. It's a little bit hard to see, but my wife drives a little Honda Civic and I have a Toyota Tacoma. So those black boxes represent the two vehicles, just for, it's always hard to picture things on paper, right? So that is currently showing the layout with a 12-foot setback from the front, and then you can vaguely see how the cars shift kind of to, further down the sheet. If we were to, have to go with a 35-foot setback. So it would make that driveway a little bit less favorable. It kind of pushes it a little bit closer to the ditch. And then it's hard to see, but the back deck and the house are also shifted, where the mouse is hovering there. And last time I was here, I forgot to mention that topography conducted on that land was done prior to some previous construction activities. And that red rectangle show a little bit down on the mouse, it says a conflict between right rear. Yeah, so somebody previously took a skid steer and they tried to cut some sort of a road. So you have a cut bank. So again, big picture is, just every foot allowed closer to the road will be more beneficial for just the back deck and, some of those things. Yeah, and of course, just the back deck, right? You get pushed back, then, you just need taller posts and taller walls and all that good stuff. Driveway seems to be in the most favorable terrain as well. And if I have to do kind of that elevated house due to the terrain, then obviously, I like to, have a workshop area, so it would be more of a garage area for the cars underneath the house. So that's kind of an overview on some of the homework that I've done these past. Oh, yeah, you can actually see where somebody tried to cut in a road there before. But that's all I have.
Forgive me for saying this, but you've pretty much showed us that you could actually build a house and still meet the 35-foot setback. It would just be more difficult, maybe more expensive, but that's really not our issue. I don't see anything in the record or anything that you've said yet that says that there's some physical feature that absolutely prevents you from being able to put the house where it will meet setback.
Well, I mean, the septic tank, the grade, I don't know if I'll be able to get to the septic tank if I get further down, because it's just more it's rockier. You can see, like, so right there, it shows that that storm ditch. It shows it being very dark right there in the center. If you go, right there, like that area, it's super steep and super rocky. So getting across that with gravity, the septic system will be, pretty, challenging. If not, I don't know how I'll be able to penetrate the rock, to have to do a sewer line like that.
You're crossing that ditch whether you move the house back to 35 feet or keep it at 12.
Right, but the angle of approach will be adjusted, will be shifting if I go further up or further down.
Mr. Chairman, for perspective, this map we put up, the lighter red is 25 to 40% slopes, and the darker red are 50% or greater slopes. It's a new feature we've learned about, so just we wanted to share those with you guys.
But in your testimony, you said if you have to build it back 35 feet, your walls will have to be taller and your deck posts will have to be longer and taller. I never heard anything that said it's just absolutely impossible to do that.
Well, what are the bylaws kind of, what does it say about the bylaws in terms of having the, you said at the beginning, Yeah. Conditions such as exceptional narrowness,
This is a steep lot, whether you're 10 feet from the road or 35 feet from the road. It's just steep. You're
So-
building on a steep lot.
right. Would deprive the applicant of any reasonable use of their land, more loss value should not be. Yeah, and I mean, that's it though. I mean, the terrain, the storm ditch, and the setback, it just creates, it's more, more challenging, more, and again, I haven't started construction, so I know there's bedrock too. So as you're going down closer to there, like I might encounter what do they call it? Just bedrock or rock sticking out, which you can see in the storm ditch. So, that's a big risk too. If I'm able to get a little bit higher ground, I might not be striking bedrock, which then again will result in, much more complications.
You had soil samples taken here, right? Did they encounter any bedrock there?
Yes, sir. What do they call it in that soil sample test? They call it may encounter pinnacle rock. So yeah, and the cut bank requires 25 setback. Yeah, so in all those areas they encounter that are highlighted with the yellow Sharpie. Pinnacle rock, which is very evident whenever if you walk down the storm ditch, you just see that pinnacle rock just penetrating through the ground.
Steve, there's a note on here that's something about possible underground fencing. In my 70 years, I don't think I've ever seen a fence underground.
I haven't either. I'm not for sure what that means.
Okay. So is that the extent of your testimony?
Yes, sir.
I now need to give the opposition a chance to speak. I think there were a couple of ladies that wanted to speak in opposition. If you could please state your name and address for the record.
Yes. My name is Amy Fulcher, and I live at 11424 Couch Mill Road.
Floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Well, I will start out by saying very, very quickly, when I was 8, I fell through a frozen pond, and a neighbor came out of nowhere and pulled me out. So I try very hard to be good to my neighbors, and I want to welcome the Adames to our neighborhood. I do want to speak in favor of a longer setback than what is proposed for the reasons that we have setbacks. And there are two, primarily safety and aesthetics, which affect property values. This is a very permanent change to the street. The setbacks help preserve sight lines. They provide a buffer for vehicles when they are passing and allow for emergency vehicles. And it's a safer situation for the pedestrians, vehicular traffic, and the people in the residents. The other issue is the aesthetics of a house very close to the road. You can see the neighboring house. They are back much further from the road. This would be very unconventional for the character of the road, and I think it would negatively affect our property values for that reason. My neighbors and I, our biggest investment was in Knox County in our homes, and we want the next house to help build the street up and not be something that could detract due to the setback alone. But I will just end by saying I really hope that the Adames can find a floor plan that they love that also adheres to the setbacks. Thank you.
I'm Carol Yoakley, 11463 Couchville Road. My property is across the street. I have watched him daily doing a fantastic cleanup of the lot. But my concern too is that the variance will detract from the entire neighborhood. I was there when this community began as a dirt road, and I have watched the houses be installed up on the street. So I know exactly the process that you will be going through if you decide to do this. But in the meantime, those of us who are already located according to the variance, we would like to see that our new neighbor practices the same strategy.
Thank you. This is, since I've been on the board for the last, I don't know, what, 5 years, 4 years, whatever, however long it's been. This is one of the few times where we've actually had someone come, a next door neighbor or a neighbor, come and explain why granting a variance would damage their property. And that's one of the things that I have stressed in all the meetings, is that it's not just the property owner that we have to consider, it's also the neighbors. And it's not just the neighbors that currently live in the neighborhood, but the neighbors that are going to live, because every piece of property in this world is going to eventually be owned by somebody else. And if allowing a house to be moved closer to the road than the setbacks allow damages the value of a piece of property, it might be an impact to the current property owner, but when that property owner sells the property, that's when it really becomes an issue. So I would like for us to consider that as we deliberate this. I didn't hear anything from Mr. Adami that said, I just absolutely cannot build the house if I meet the setbacks. What I heard was, it'll cost more, it'll be more difficult, but I didn't hear the words, it just can't be done. I built a lot of structures over the years, and I can tell you that pretty much any physical feature can be overcome. Mr. Elliott, this one's yours. So I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, go ahead.
Just for record's sake, it looks like 11462 Couch Mill Road, which appears to be two parcels down the street on the same side of the road, is also built very close to the road.
Can you show us a map of that? Is that it? Is that it on the screen?
Yes, this is 11462.
Where is that in relation to this piece of property?
Appears to be two properties.
Yeah, it's 2 doors over.
2 doors over, okay. I was looking at that earlier on the map. Based on the graphic scale, it appears that it does meet 35-foot setback from the property line. That would be it in the center of the screen, or no, that would be it right there. That appears to be substantially more than 12.
I agree. I'm just stating there was concerns about anyone building closer to the road.
Yeah, the piece of property right next door to Mr. Adami the house is very far away from the road, which is unusual in this neighborhood. Most of them are up closer to the road, probably 35 feet or slightly more.
Yeah, just to add to that slight conversation, I'm not sure we need to get bogged down, but as somebody that's been over there a few times, it's in my district, I did not notice a lot of uniformity on that particular section of Couch Mill Road. There's a variety of setbacks and a variety of types of houses. Just to add, since we happen to be on that topic, but.
Yeah, it looks like lot 17 is way back off the road compared to the other ones.
I think that's the one next door.
That's 1145.
Yeah, that's the one right next door.
Yes.
You know, it also looks like that was encroached upon the gentleman's property.
Yeah. Right on it.
Have you had this property surveyed?
Yes, it was surveyed, but part of the attachments, Mr. Chairman, is that's a topography. And I think there's a survey. So there's yeah. If you go down some more, that's a survey.
I don't know if the property on lot 17 encroaches or not, but it certainly doesn't look like there's what's the setback requirement here on side yards, Miranda?
12 feet for a two-story.
Doesn't appear that there's a 12-foot setback from that property line. But of course, that blue line is not a survey. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you, Mr. Elliott, what you'd like to do.
In terms of, I guess at the beginning, do I have 15 minutes and she has 15 minutes?
You do, and I don't know how much of your time is elapsed.
Yeah, which I don't, yeah. I just wanted an opportunity to address their concerns.
Please do.
Yeah, so I understand where they're coming from. Obviously, that's why I love this area. I love this location because I can see the homes and what they're trying to build, and I'm only trying to expand upon what they're trying to do. Again, I think I think there are some houses there. I don't know when they were built or constructed, but yeah, my neighbor, it does seem like it's very close to that side property. And then also, I believe one of her concerns was in terms of parking on the street. I think if you turn the aerial on, I think there's a neighbor down the road that parks, 11478, right? I mean, so if there was a major concern, I think that house that indeed placed concrete and uses it as a daily parking area there off the street, I think to elaborate on that concern, that would definitely be a concern to her point. But that's why I believe last time they were here, I noted that concern, and that's why the driveway is going to be, proposed that certain way to just get off the road and onto the side of the house. But yeah, they're to Board Member Elliott, I think there are some inconsistencies, and again, it's just my terrain just happens to have some irregular features and challenges. And to Mr. Chairman's point, yes, everything in life is feasible, given the right amount of money and time. And I think everybody here understands that you got to have one or the other to make it happen. And I have a lot of time, but not a lot of money.
I have a question and comment. Are there any other developable lots in that neighborhood? Or is this appears to be like this, maybe one and one other future developments there? I mean, does it look like this is about what's going to be on that road? Because that road dead ends. There's nothing else really down there, right?
No, sir. There's just houses that are more blessed, and they just have 6 acres and 3 acres. So I'm sure they could do multiple dwellings there. But
doubtful for that neck of the woods, it looks like.
Correct.
Yeah. And I will say, based on your previous appearance, you have done lots and lots of homework.
Thank you.
Since last time, so kudos on that.
I was going to make the same comment on your preparedness on this. And if I remember right, your original, when you first came here, was on the terrain of the property. But I agree. You've done a lot of research.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I'll piggyback right onto that. Yeah, similar feelings. First time you were here, we asked you to address the driveway situation in a drawing, not just verbally, to address safety. That was our main concern, to make sure you can get in and out safely, your neighbors could get past you safely. You did that. You came with much more detail as we had asked for. We asked you if there was any way you could push it back more than 10 feet. You've pushed it back to 12. I mean, so you did literally everything we asked of you the last time you were here. So, and then to address a lot, the reasons for variance could easily be the most topographically challenged lot I've seen in my district in my 2 years. And pushing the house back will certainly create some economic hardship, and it might make it cost prohibitive. We don't know. Like you just said, the funds aren't always unlimited. So it could be cost prohibitive, which would cost you use of your lot.
And working for a utility company, the contractors have underground clause for a reason.
Right.
Once you get to digging, it really is. We've encountered a lot of rock and some sinkholes. You never know.
That's right. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the waiver of the front yard setback from 35 feet to 12 feet based on the topographical challenges and the cost challenges that could come along with it.
I second them.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? I'll register my vote as no. And I think Mr. Repass also. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Thank you.
And there are no more items on the agenda, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.